What's going on, y'all? Peace to everybody, man. Y'all already know what it is. My name is Christopher Life Willers. This is the How to Stay Free Live, man. Let me make sure I got everything set up straight. This is where you get or you have an opportunity to ask questions. If you want to learn about prison, incarceration, any of those things, man, I get up here. I use my platform to talk about not just my story, but the things that people go through while they're incarcerated, man. I came home in 2020. I got locked up in 2003. I originally got sentenced to 144 years. 144 years all suspended, but 19. I had to do 85% of that. I ended up doing 16 years, 11 months behind the wall. I came home and I said to myself, I wanted to be a voice. I said to myself that I wanted to provide some type of advocacy online in the digital space where I could represent people that were incarcerated, not because I'm asking for a pity party or none of that, but just because there's some really bad things that happen behind those walls that aren't conducive to society as a whole. You know what I'm saying? Like if we're gonna be all the way honest, and here's the thing, whether I appreciate that, Kimmy, like I always say, whether you're somebody that feels like people that go to prison deserve second chances, one thing I'm pretty sure you're in agreement with is that you want your communities to be safer. And if people actually got rehabilitated in prison, then we would have less concern when individuals came back to society. But, anyways, there's a disconnect, and I spend every single day that I have, every day, every single chance I get to speak about this so people know. So people know, you know what I'm saying? I want people to know. If you've been incarcerated or if you have a loved one that's incarcerated, you've been impacted by incarceration in any way, man, please like the live, share the live, interact with the live every single way possible that you can. Help us get this message just live out here. Hopefully it'll help somebody that may be impacted by incarceration, needs some support. Oh yeah, and by the way, man, put some green stuff on. Put some green in the chat just so I can see if you've been impacted by incarceration. Excuse me. I definitely want to just see where it's at. And shout out to the people, not just all over the country. I really do appreciate y'all, but all over the world, man, that have been tapping in with the platform. I'm really excited about it. The reach. Somebody said they got a soup for a shot of Keefe. Hilarious. What gives me away? Why do you think I have Keefe? Anyways, so this is the opportunity where I really want you guys to ask questions. Ask questions. I want you to be more informed than you were. I want you to feel supported. If there's anything, man, we are a positive and respectful, safe space, nonetheless, and that's what this is about. Oh, and by the way, man, if you want to connect, don't hesitate to message me, man. I'm one of those content creators that's definitely doing some things in the reentry space, and I'm here to support. Just message me. That's what social media is about, right? Um, Somebody said, please talk about going in front of the parole board. I definitely will do a post about that, but I myself was never parole eligible. Somebody said, how was my day? Thank you, Dacardi. I appreciate that. My day was pretty good. No complaints, really. I got to go to a returning citizens event at New Birth, this church in Georgia, which was pretty cool. Met some new people, made some new connections. Uh, got to be introduced to some people that are helping people come home from prison, that are helping people get jobs. So it was a pretty good day. And then Saturdays, I facilitate my support groups, my recovery groups, all that. So those are fun. And of course, I've been making content, getting the content out there, because that's always something I love to do. Everybody's saying they love the Keefe. If you've had Keefe before, put some yellow in the chat. Let me know if you've ever had some Keefe, man. And if y'all, what type of content are you guys liking right now, man? Because I'm really grateful. I'm appreciative of the support. But I often want, like, what's the type of content that you guys relate to the most? Is it the skits? Is it when I'm just speaking about incarceration? Is it when I'm highlighting other people? What do y'all like? Fried bread, I appreciate that, man. And everybody that's showing love in that way, I'm definitely trying to send a follow and all that good stuff, man. I did not mean to. I just invited somebody on accident onto my live. Disregard that. I was trying to say thank you. Nonetheless, we are up here, man. And maybe in the future, I will start bringing people up here on the live. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said, Josh Skeezy, you helped me not want to go back. That's my goal. My goal is to encourage people to stay free. Don't go back. I do not want you all to go down the road that I went. I did 16 years, 11 months. That's a long time. You know what I'm saying? And if you've never been, I hope you never go at all. And if you've been before, I hope you never go back. That's what the message is about. That's all I'm really talking about, y'all. Of course, I want people to know about the conditions and the reality of the situation. WTB, Bo Hunter, I appreciate that, man. Sending you to follow. I appreciate that, y'all. People saying they like the skits. People, yo, I'm grateful to do the skits, man. And I'm looking forward to potentially. I think somebody said you need to go on some auditions and really try to get into some acting. And I think I am gonna do that. I think I am. I got a kid on the way, right? I got a son on the way, man. Shout out to the wife. She's about 6 months right now. You know what I'm saying? But maybe next year. You know, my son gets here in December. Maybe by March next year, I go on some auditions. I don't know. That would be a dream of mine, I think, because um, I really think that I can get into some acting. I think, you know what I'm saying. But we'll see. Somebody said Viking. I don't know what that is. Noel, I'm not sure what that is, man. Nonetheless, oh, somebody was trying to battle. They don't want no smoke. I had 150 people in the room, man. I appreciate everybody liking the live, sharing the live, all that good stuff. Do you have any questions? Um, do you have any questions about incarceration? Somebody said December what? Son is December 5th and youngest December 29th. December 11th right now, man. Um, December 11th is the date. Are the glasses from incarceration? No. The glasses are from Zelu or something. They were like $7, but they're prescription. I shop for the budget, the bargains. Artemis, what's good, man? What time of the day? I'm not sure. How was your transition out with you and your wife? That's a good question. Um, the transition. So I married my wife in the visitation room. We met in 2017 on a phone call. Never seen her face. Talked to her for less than 20 minutes. I fell in love. I knew she was going to be my wife. True story. Promise you, this is the true story. And fast forward about 2 years later, we end up getting married. Haynesville, Camp 17. And it was a horrible situation. And to any of the women that are in relationships with the fellas that are incarcerated, man, I don't feel you from your perspective, but I just want to say I see y'all. And I say thank you to my wife all the time, right? Because at the end of the day, for you to endure something like that, to stick, you know what I'm saying, through it with your people is very hard. And when you walk into those prisons, you get impacted by incarceration just like us. Maybe not just like us, but you do get impacted for a multitude of different reasons. But yo, the transition was extremely hard for us. And yesterday we went live and I was speaking about that. When I came home, I appreciate that, James. When I came home from prison after 17 years, it was the pandemic. Like I came home January 20, timeline, get locked up February 12th, 2003. I come home January 13th, 2020, 16 years, 11 months to the day. The pandemic COVID was already kicking off. 3 months later, it was in full swing. So I returned back from 17 years of prison, which is extremely abnormal, right? And then walked right into a world that was abnormal because we went into a chapter of something we had never seen. Never seen. Like you read about things like this in the history book. You read about what was it? The Black Plague, all these things, right? 1919 and I don't know, 18, whatever, but not here. And then boom, the whole world. Okay. So I came home from prison after 17 years, locked up at 19, come home 36, had hair, came home bald, right? And with a wife. And I want to say this. Shout out to my wife. I'm not crying about having a wife, but I'm just saying when you got a wife, you got more responsibilities and obligations. I don't care how patient, because my wife was super patient. God bless her, man. Super, no pressure really on me. Like, yeah, you got to grow and go, but like, you can take your time. I put the pressure on me. But nonetheless, coming home from prison after 17, pandemic, wife, probation, got to get a job, all of these things, no real life experience. If I'm gonna be all the way honest, at 19, how much life experience do you really have in full like, not trying to, young people, but I'm just saying. And yo, my transition period, it wouldn't have mattered if I was married or not. I walked out of prison with so much PTSD. The level of PTSD I had on me. Look at the post. Look up my name walking out of prison. Chris, it's on most of my pages, pinned, whatever. I was out my mind. I physically walked out of prison. Mentally, I was still up in that thing. I was hyper vigilant. I was self-isolating when I came home. Social anxiety was up because I was used to being in an environment like prison. And it's the same. The pod, the conversation, the colors, everything is redundant and repetitive. In society, it's not that. It's unpredictable. Prison is a horrible place, but guess what? Very predictable. And if you're there long enough, even when the moments that come out of nowhere are unexpected, you can still see the signs, because the signs don't really shift when it comes to when it's going down in prison. Out here, though, you understand what I'm saying? Oh, you don't know. And then it was a whole bunch of different issues and problems I had never dealt before. And some of y'all, let me tell you what, one time I had a panic attack over. Been on level 4 yards, solitary confinement, Sussex 2, Greensville. Look these places up, right? Good on the yard. I'm not happy to be there, but good. Like, yo, rec call. When they doing rec, I'm trying to get to the yard where everybody you don't want to be at, right? And then come home, get a flat tire, and I'm ready to spiral out of control. That was the reality of what was going on with me. PTSD is crazy in itself, because I'm gonna tell you why. It's as somebody that has dealt with it in a severe way. You don't know how jacked up you are. You don't know where you're at mentally until you're outside of that very abnormal environment that messed you up. So I was already messed up when I walked out, but like 2-3 months after I was out, it was getting worse because I was no longer in an environment where I could mask it. See, when you're in prison, you can have PTSD, you can have all these things. You could be out your mind, and there's plenty of camouflage because everybody else is probably out their mind too. Prison, if you weren't out your mind when you went there, when you was inside, you started to lose it. So you're crazy in there, and you're probably better off, you know what I'm saying, moving that way or being that. But when you come home, no camouflage. And then as a man, and just as a person, but period, right? I don't know how to use a touch screen to order at McDonald's. Yeah, we had the J, but nothing advanced. I didn't know how to use my cell phone. You look at the video of me walking out the prison, cell phone in my hand. ASAP. First 5 minutes. I'm like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said 2 years. I wish, man. Dang, just Google my name, man. My profile's, same thing. Just Google me and you'll see my whole story, man. 16 years, 11 months. And I don't brag about it. I don't glorify prison. I'm an advocate that talks about stuff that you really don't hear other people talking about when it comes to prison. There's a lot of people, and no harm and disrespect, but there's a lot of people that make content about prison. Yo, they glorify, they literally, they watering it down. And then what's dangerous is people really think that the message they're putting out there is legit, and it's not. It's not. I'm sorry, it's not. Right? So yeah, I get up here every single day. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud to also travel the country as a motivational speaker. I've opened up a school. That's why I said just Google me. I have a successful nonprofit that works in the reentry arena. I recently got the proclamation, a day dedicated to myself and my nonprofit. You know what I'm saying? So again, I get it. That's your perspective. You've seen a snapshot. But before you read, try to predict the entire book, read past the cover is the moral of the story. So anyways, let me get back to what I was saying, right? So I come home, and the level of PTSD and everything else that's going on inside is off the Richter, right? And you're talking about how me and my wife did. God bless my wife. It was, we don't think about the after. When we in relationship, we talking. I know me. I'm talking to my girl when I was locked up. I'm on that phone. See that phone? Boom, we on the phone. We caught up in like fantasy land, right? Like we're talking about reality, but at the end of the day, especially in me and my wife's situation, so many people, right? You've never been around each other on the street. There's plenty of people in relationships with people that are incarcerated, ready to spend the rest of their lives, never been around each other on the street, right? I appreciate everybody liking the live right now, sharing the live out, man. Share this live to somebody that may need this conversation, man. People that really trying to, you know what I'm saying? If y'all got questions, keep putting them in the chat. But we think we get so wrapped up in the fantasy part or the part that hasn't even manifested yet in a relationship, but we're just hoping. But man, when you come home, there's a whole world. There's so many different things, because to the ladies out there, right? When your guy come home, especially after a long term of incarceration, let's be real. You got to have a level of patience out this world. It's one thing to have to navigate phone calls and VI and all that. It's another thing when he's been locked up for 20 years and he don't know how to do nothing. And he calling your phone every 3 seconds when he knows how to. And he needs your help because you're his girl and you're going to be the main one right there. You know what I'm saying? My wife had a level of patience that I'm grateful for, because as I tell people all the time out loud, she taught me a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had other support. I'm not going to sit here like I didn't have support, but somebody asked specifically about this relationship thing. My wife taught me a lot, and how I rewarded her was I paid attention and I applied so she didn't have to keep. Now, there's certain things, to this day, I forget every 3 seconds, the Wi-Fi password, all that. But moral of the story is, man, it was a whole transitional period. And people ask me, they say, how long did it take you to readjust after incarceration? I would say about 2 years. And here's the thing about that. If people weren't inside my household in those first 2 years when I came home from prison, they would have thought that I was grade A, Mr. I don't know, most improved, all of that. No. I was good at putting on a front, because internally, and when I was I was losing my mind. I was stressing, the anxiety. And again, not to my defense, but to my defense, walking out of prison into the pandemic, very crazy. Salute to any of my brothers and sisters, my man, whatever, they left. I'm not saluting y'all because we went to prison. I'm saluting you because you survived transitioning from prison into the pandemic. And I don't think that gets discussed enough about that whole period. And I'm going to talk about probation in a second, because I got some stories about that. But really strongly consider the things that you're going to face and encounter when your loved one comes home from prison. The shift for us and what happened to make us successful over time was I got mental health support. You know what I'm saying? I went into recovery. I really did the things that I know I needed to do so I didn't lose my mind all the way, my freedom, my family, whatever. Like, I just didn't want to lose anymore. So I started to do, I shifted. And then, over time, because it wasn't instant, it was probably another year. And then I remember, like I was talking about yesterday, I said, one day I just looked at my wife and I said, I think I'm okay now. And not perfect. I ain't saying like I'm 100%, but I'm saying I'm like, I'm 80% or I'm 85. Like I'm decent. When I came home, I was like 20%. I was done. You understand what I'm saying? Somebody said, did I work on mental health inside too? There's no mental health support in prison, unfortunately. And this is why I'm always up here and I'm telling people what's going on. And I'm trying to convince people to understand what incarceration is. You want mental health support in prison, but for whatever reason, most prisons, Department of Corrections, etc., federal and state, they find every reason in the world not to put adequate mental health support in prisons. Can anybody tell me why they wouldn't want mental health support in prisons? I'll wait 2 seconds. And then I'll give y'all an answer. Let's see. I'll tell you why. They don't want to have mental health support in prisons. Because if I don't give this population mental health support, and treat the issues that are causing them to come to prison or come back to prison, because 70% of people, give or take, have some form of mental illness that are incarcerated, right? If I don't treat that, what do you think is probably going to happen? They're probably going to come back, right? It's no different than there's no real addiction support. There's no substance use support in prison. Why? Because a great large percentage, probably higher than the 70, suffer from some form of addiction. And if I treat that, then that means there'll be less people coming and going to prison. So why would I invest money into solutions when I can just build more prisons? That is what's going on. That's an actual fact, right? And if anybody doesn't believe it, that's fine. Don't believe it. But I'm not here. There's plenty of books about it. You know, prison industrialization. Just do some research, man. So I see you guys talking about, now you're thinking about the mental health. Dog said victim mentality. Not at all. 100% accountable. And by the way, victims advocate. 100% victims advocate. Yo, monsters exist. I just want to be clear. Some people, they're like, yo, prisons shouldn't exist. No, you tripping. Prisons and jails need to exist. There's monsters in this world, like legitimate monsters that can't wait. They can't wait. They can't wait. They should not be out here in the world, right? But there's so many people that are actually incarcerated that deserve second chances in reality. They've been over sentenced, that should have got a second chance, an alternative sentence, a program, maybe something that would have been more serviceable to not just the individual when it comes to rehabilitation, but the community and world as a whole. Like, honestly, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. That's it. We're in a place where, yo, enough is enough, right? We know what it is. We're talking about prison. We're talking about incarceration. And we're talking about a time where, yo, people still want to go viral on the internet for the wrong reasons, man. Like, they videotaping their crimes. Like, they can't wait. They really ready to throw it all away for it's crazy, man. Things are evolving, man. So we get up here and we tell the stories that matter in hopes that we can get through to some people, man, that they don't get in the car that night, that they get out the way. You know what I'm saying? We speak, so hopefully they change their mind, so they understand they don't have to go down this path, so they understand that prison is not a game, man. Yo, people really don't understand how serious prison is. I make content about prison every day, and addiction, by the way, and some other stuff, mental health. But there's so many people every single day that are joking about it in the comments, and I get it, because you're going to have that balance, positive, negative, people that think it's serious, people that think it's a joke, inhale, exhale. It's part of balance. I expect the negativity just as much as I expect the positivity, to be honest with you, but it's still scary. It is still scary to know, because it's always, and it's unfortunate, but there's always the people that think it's a game until they get caught up in it. And then they realize how real it is. I don't know how many people, and yeah, there's a population that probably say, yo, I'm probably going to end up getting locked up. That's just how I'm living, da-da-da-da. But guess what? So many people never thought prison was in the cards. They thought they was going to get away. No way I'm going to get caught. All this. You know what I'm saying? So we talking about it, man. I appreciate everybody, man, that's interacting, that's sharing, that's liking, that's doing all of that, man. Again, you never know, because you share this, you don't know who it's going to get to. Might motivate them, inspire them, encourage them to make a different decision. Hopefully, man, encourage them to stay free. You know what I'm saying? I'm reading some of the comments, man. James Shula, I appreciate you, man. It's Quagan, I appreciate you. With the goats, all that, man. I appreciate y'all, man. I should have stayed free, man. Yeah, I always put the stay free as a call to action, man. We got the merch, by the way, too, man. But stay free is a call to action. Stay free. It's just a reminder, and I say it every day. And I think I'm grateful for the people that message me and they like, yo, I'm glad that when I hear stay free, it snaps me out the coma. It wakes me up because I was gonna wild out on. I was gonna wild out. You know what I'm saying? I'm great. I'm great, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad for that. I appreciate that, y'all. Everybody is sharing this. Again, thank y'all, man. Thank you for believing in the message. Thank you. It's been a process. It still is. I got so much work to do, man. I got so much work to do. We just getting started. I appreciate everybody saying they love the content. I appreciate y'all because the message doesn't get out there. It doesn't. You know what I'm saying? I try to interact as much as I can. It's hard at times, you know what I'm saying? But yo, above all else, I'm gonna stay consistent in putting out a message that I believe matters. You know, and that's it, man. I'm getting ready. I see you, Miss Matt. I appreciate that. I see you, man. I appreciate it. Some people I've known for some history, as they say down here where I'm at in Georgia now, man. Listen, I really am also trying to break stigmas and stereotypes because people that come home from incarceration, we get a bad rap. Like, we're not all monsters. Some of us show love. Like, some of us is out here in the community every single day helping, feeding people. You know what I'm saying? Pushing the carts across the street for the old ladies, whatever. Like, some of us is really about that life and grateful to be out here doing it, man. I'm going to a whole banquet, League of the Safer Streets banquet, returning citizens thing. It's nothing but people that came home from prison is doing great things. I know people come home from prison that got doctorates. I know people that came home from prison that's running for political office and holding political office, by the way. I know some people, man. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said talk about the food and nutrition on the inside. Oh, my goodness. Hold on. The food and the nutrition on the inside is scary. I want you to think about something. Let me tell you what an old head told me one time. Old head told me when I was in there, when I was behind the wall, I used to go to the store sometimes. I got 2 bags, bragging like 2 bags of commissary. Like, that's doing it, right? But to my defense, I was probably halfway through my prison bid. Been locked up since I was 19, probably in my late 20s, whatever. And the old head I respected, but he stopped me one time when I was coming back. And he used to always stop me, be like, yo, youngin, let me get a couple suits and car. He used to always bless him. That's my OG. He didn't have much, whatever. But he would always give me like some crazy jewel to think about, just be stuck in my head. And this one particular time, I'm coming back, I'm feeling good, sun shining. We got rec call after commissary. It's a decent day to be in there. It's a horrible thing to be in there, but it's a decent day in that sense. And he said, hey man, you know what? He said, I see you always happy whenever they call commissary and you run into that window to be first and you got your bags and all that. I said, yeah, it's one of the few things I got to look for. He said, that ain't nothing but sugar and salt. He said, when it's all said and done, that's all it is sugar and salt. And I looked at my commissary bag and I was like, it ain't nothing but sugar and salt. So commissary ain't nothing but gas station food. That's it. It's gas station food. You know what I'm saying? And then if you're not eating gas station food, you're eating the food that's coming out the kitchen, right? And then the food that's coming out the kitchen is subpar. It's not healthy for you. It's not good for you. There's nothing like literally like the meat, right? None of that stuff, right? Nothing is good. And we're over here in prison. You got a situation. And matter of fact, before I get off the picking and choosing, or onto the picking and choosing, but you really are picking and choosing what poison you gonna eat, this or that. But on top of that, in most prisons, man, the water is horrible. It comes out the sinks brown. So not only is it the food, but then if you're eating commissary, it's the water that you prepping or making your food with, and then you can't escape it because you got to drink the water and wash yourself with it. What are you gonna do? Dehydrate and evaporate and fade away? I've been on camps where we was scared. We was praying. We would see signs that said water, not whatever, warnings for the guests and visitors and all that. Sussex too. the guards never drink water from the sink, or the water fountains, or they never had a cup of water or nothing like that. They had bottled water. And people say, well, what else is supposed to drink? I'm just saying, I've been on some prisons where the police, they drink out the water fountain. They don't care, but I've been in spreads. So the food is very, very bad. And I can't tell you the number of individuals that I know that come home from prison that are sick. I made it all the way through my bid. There was a running joke that when you go to prison, you're going to end up with either high blood pressure or diabetes or both. Or cholesterol, high cholesterol, whatever. I made it all the way to my last year. And then I had high cholesterol, which I'm almost, now that I'm home, I'm almost off, the medicine. But, you just can't escape it. I seen guys that was super healthy, work out 15 times a day, but their diet, and then there's the guys that are on the inside that starve themselves because the food's horrible, and they'd rather just fast and eat as least as possible, and they be walking around like zero. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said, what's the proper terminology, celly or bunkie? I don't know. I think I said celly one time. Somebody's like, I've never heard that before. That's what they called them by us. Maybe they called them bunkie. No, they called them cellies. I don't know. It's state to state. But nonetheless, did inmates ever have iron? I don't know, Matthew. I don't know if the water, I can't say that the water messed anybody up. I can only assume. But I do know this. I got a friend of mine that has battled colon cancer twice since being home. I can't say it's the food, but I do know countless individuals that came home with either diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. So I just know that the food and the water, it's not ideal. And if you're fasting, then you're not getting enough of what you need, nourishment. And I knew guys that were fading away, it looked like, and it's not ideal. It's not. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said don't drink from the hot water. Yeah, trust me. Construction workers diet saying, I believe, I heard that, man. I watched some videos of how construction workers work. Shout out to all the construction workers, man. I was a garbage man. Mixed blood type, you are Mexican Road War. You are correct. Blaxican, you are correct. You are spot on. Good, astute observation, man. Anybody got any other questions, man? I appreciate the questions. I appreciate you liking the live, sharing the live, interacting with the live. I appreciate y'all interacting with all the content as well, man, as it continues to get the message out there, man. Anybody, what is it? Okay. Anybody that wants to connect with me, I'm always telling y'all, message me, man. I always check my messages directly after I hop off live, because usually that's, the quickest way for me to not forget what's going on. And stay in touch with y'all, man, because I'm really trying to interact and support y'all, man. Somebody said they used to heat the water up in a microwave. Yeah, I used to boil my water too. But then I used to get ice out the, you know what I'm saying, the brown ice cart. So I don't know if that helped or not. Looking for some questions. How did I stay sane after all those years? I spoke a little bit about it, Hot Shot Jack. I don't know that I did stay sane. And that's why I say, if you got the opportunity to check out the top of my page where it's that video of me walking out of prison, you'll see I was out my mind with a twitch. I was twitching. My nerves were gone, over with, through the moon. You understand what I'm saying? Got a mean chess game? You already know. Anybody wants to see? I need to, man. Who want to play some chess, man? I'm about to start playing live chess games. We used to play chess in the hole. Somebody asked me, how did you play chess in solitary confinement with other people? I'm glad you brought up chess, because I believe that's where my chess game really got developed, was in solitary confinement. Because in solitary confinement, so I did over 3 years in solitary. Oh boy, yeah, y'all are okay, I guess. Anyways, I did over 3 years in solitary confinement. Appreciate that, James. Longest stint first, you know what I'm saying, or consecutively, was 14 months. When I was in, somebody said I run that book. Man, you do not want nobody want to see me on the chessboard. Or Scrabble. If you pay attention to how OG talk, y'all don't want no Scrabble problems. I promise you. But chess, you definitely don't want that too. You know what I'm saying? So in solitary confinement, you in your cell by yourself, but they got a vent system and you could hear through the doors, right? And if you're lucky, you have somebody that also knows how to play chess. Unfortunately, they probably did a lot of time in the hole. That's how they learn. But what you do is you and the guy next to you across the way, wherever that you can hear, if they play chess, they build a board. You know what I'm saying? And you build a board like Battleship, and you build their pieces as well as yours, and you label the board A through H and 1 through 8. So when they call out their moves from the other side, you move the pieces, and you call out your moves and they move the pieces. And that's how you're able to play chess like it's Battleship. Move my pawn from A2 to A4, and then he'll call out his shot, boom, his move, da-da-da-da. And that's how you play chess, man. It's not that complex, but the first time it was explained to me, it blew my mind, but it saved my life because we would play chess for hours. And our schedule, there was an old timer, man, that used to play chess all the time. He was back there for years. He had already been back there for 7 years in solitary confinement when I got moved to the cell next to him. So he was already locked in. He had a whole system, whatever. And he put me on. He said, yo, save your trays and sleep during the day. You know what I'm saying? And I said, why? He said, because at night, we'll be able to hear each other better because it's quieter to play chess. He said, and you could just eat one big meal or stretch it out at night. But it's a way to offset what the prison wants you to move like. And I shifted my schedule when I was in the hole. And I started to sleep during the day. I'd wake up for my trays, put my food up, wake up, it was shower time, whatever, lay back down. But at night, once 6 p.m. shift change came, it was already understood. Workout, clean the cell, get everything back right. And then like 7, 8 o'clock, we playing chess to the morning. We playing chess till like 5:45 a.m. count, waiting for breakfast tray. Like, locked in game after game. And then there was times where it was multiple people down there. We done had chess tournaments down there in solitary confinement, all that, because some of the wings it was on, it's just a hallway. They all built different, but that's where we was at, man. That's how we played chess in solitary confinement. Y'all brought back some memories right there, man. Oh, it was all about survival though. That really, playing chess in solitary confinement really kept me sane, y'all. Like one of the things that kept me sane, because you got to keep your mind occupied. And in most states, you can't even do a certain amount of days in solitary confinement anymore. Once you get to a certain days, they take you off that status. You know what I'm saying? Big CEO, you already know. He already know. Hey, look, if you ever made a chessboard in the hole, put it in the chat, man. Y'all already know, man. We're not bragging about this stuff too, if anybody's curious. We're just telling you about the life in there, man. Like the things we did to survive, to stay sane. And thank God we did do things to stay sane. Somebody says, why was I in solitary? Multiple reasons. What time? Because I was in solitary a few times. But I mean, when I was young, I used to fight. You know, that was the most common thing I feel like a lot of us used to go to the hole for. I cuss the CO out. I was legendary for that. Started a rap, man. I was wilding at one time. And then one time I got put under investigation. You know what I'm saying? An investigation where I was at, if you're on that status, the investigator can play with your life. He can just keep you back there and as a matter of fact, this particular time I was transferred from one solitary confinement unit on a level 2 prison to a solitary confinement unit on a level 4 prison. And it was crazy. It was so glad I made it out of that, y'all. Anyways, did I have any good days? It's not a crazy question to ask. I would say that there's no such thing for me as a good day in prison, but I had good moments. I feel like at the end of the day, no matter what happened that day that was good, I was still locked up. That's just me. Somebody else's perspective, they may have said they had great days in prison, but I'm just saying. So I had some really good moments, blessed moments, man. I met a lot of my brothers. Me and my wife got our vow renewal last year, 5-year vow renewal. Able to do it right. This time we're not in the prison visitation room. And my side of the room or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's all my brothers, man, from the pen that drove 2 states, because I done moved out the state where I did my time. They drove 2 states, flew all that just to be a part of the event. So some good came from it, man. You know, some good definitely came from it. Somebody said, was I scared a lot? I wouldn't say I was scared a lot, but I was scared at times. You know what I'm saying? I feel like maybe there's people that's never scared. Congrats to you. I mean, if you've been in enough situations where it could have went left, your heart might start racing every now and then. I'm just saying. So, yeah, I had moments where I was definitely scared. I mean, have you ever, and you might have, but have you ever been in a riot before? Because it's not fun. You know, regardless if you are immediate part of what's going on or not. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever been in an environment where all of a sudden 2 opposing sides on the yard just went at it and they 30, 40 deep on both sides and you just trying to get off the yard somehow, but the guards think y'all all the same? Like, few times. I ain't gonna be honest, I ain't gonna lie. Like it some people like, I ain't never scared in prison, dude. No. I had some moments. Definitely. Somebody said my roomie keeps snoring. Tell him lay on the side or something, man. Young men make wise decisions. I love it. I love the comment, man. Listen, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Appreciate everybody that's liking the live, sharing the live, interacting with the content, all that good stuff, man. As always, I just want to say, man, if y'all trying to connect, message me, man. Payne, I appreciate that, man. But definitely want to connect with y'all. Message me. Always, like seriously looking to connect with people, collaborate, just have good conversations, all of that. Somebody said, what was my nickname in there? It's my part of my social media name, Life. It took me a while to get used to not getting called that, by the way. And some guys come home from prison, they keep their nicknames because it wasn't a prison thing. Or I don't know. And I probably could have kept mine. I didn't really see it as a prison thing. Life was a very positive, but that's all I was called in prison. In prison, you don't get called. I mean, I hope not, but I was never in a prison where you got called by your government. Everybody had a nickname, like everybody. Very few times did somebody like call me Reggie. You know what I'm saying? No, everybody was like, call me C, call me, whatever. So, maybe I need to do a post about that as well. But that was my nickname. Somebody said, whoever want to see me in chess, because some people up here acting like they chess players too, man. Anyways, y'all, listen, I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna be back up here tomorrow. If you got questions, put them in the chat. Message me, like I said, if you want to connect, man. Yo, it's been a great one. I'm old, man. I've been up for quite some time, since early this morning, so I'm getting ready to lay it down. It's my Sunday tomorrow, so hopefully it's chill. Hopefully it's chill for y'all too, man. Before I bring this to a close, as always, man, always, y'all, stay free. Like, honestly, man, when I say stay free, I mean stay out of prison. Stay free from being persuaded or manipulated or you know what I'm saying, led down the path you don't really want to go. Stay free from being in rooms and places where you can't really be you. You know what I'm saying? Stay free of people that's not supporting your peace, your freedom, your family, your life, your love, your time. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, challenge yourself to stay free from the mischief and the chaos. Like, anything that's drama, anything that's negative, anything that's just not good for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, really challenge yourself for it. That's what I'm asking people to do, man. I ask myself to do that every morning. That's part of my plan when I get up, because I'm trying to stay free. You know what I'm saying? Again, like I always tell people, you will never hear me up here glorifying prison. You will always hear me talking about it, though. because people need to know there's too many people that are impacted by incarceration that aren't able, or just maybe they don't want, but they need to be represented. They haven't found their voice, or they're not able to be heard. So guess what? People like me are here because people need to know the truth, man. So again, I appreciate y'all, man. Peace, love, and blessings, man. Go to the last post, share it, like it, love it, all that good stuff, man. I appreciate the prayers. I appreciate everything, man. I appreciate all the support, all the love. I need it all, man, because everybody's not in support of the message. Spoiler alert. But guess what? We doing God's work, man. We're going to keep going and growing, and that's it, man. Making progress, not perfection. Till next time, man. Y'all stay free. Peace. My key feet done fell.